right, folks, this is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get the show started. Hey, and good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We come to you Monday through Friday to talk to you about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local. That's right. And the return of cool. Oh, yeah. So thank you, folks, for being a part of the show today. It's a Thursday, just a couple more days. And we've got 4th of July coming up. But more importantly, the July edition of Livin in Vegas magazine is coming out tomorrow. Woohoo! Tomorrow. So very excited about that. We'll be debuting that tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. It's jammed. It's a jam-packed magazine, and you've just got to check it out. But still, before tomorrow, folks, you can actually see the one we'll talk about in just a minute. But you can actually see the current edition of Livin in Vegas magazine because it is still available right now. Before we get going too fast, because I'm on it. I'm all over it this morning. Want to welcome all of our friends from Livin in Vegas on Facebook. If you're joining us on YouTube, we really encourage you. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead right here, folks. There's that old subscribe button. Subscribe to our channel, and you get updates every time that we update the show, which will be great. And if you're on Facebook and you're watching us, like our page. Like our page. Give me some encouragement, folks, because I know a lot of people watch the show because I see them on. It's funny. I see people out in public, and they go, "Hey, Sherm, so how's the podcast you're doing?" And they may have never chimed in during the podcast. I would have never known they were there. I do know you're there because you tell me you're there. I mean, you say, "Hey, I watch it every day." I've got friends. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine, Pasquale Urabazo, just came back from Switzerland. He was on a missions trip. I shouldn't say a missions trip. He's on a ministry trip. He and the lovely Norma, who I've just loved. It's funny, two people I've loved for decades, Norma and Pasquale. I've known Pasquale since I was like 13. And they're out in the ministry field, out there doing jamming for the lamb, we call it. And so he sent me a note. And as a matter of fact, he was in Switzerland when he was watching the show, which is really encouraging. You know, that's a homeboy. That's a homie. Come on, North Vegas, where we even no matter where he's at in the world, he knows he's got a place here in Vegas, a place to connect. Face that he recognizes, and so I'm very excited about that. So if you were on our page and it looks like people are jumping on the page right now, just say hello. Just say hi. How you doing? It's always great to have an encouragement in the morning. And if you do say hello, I'm probably going to bug you. No, I'm not. I won't bug you. But definitely let us know that you're there. We've got some cool stuff to talk about today. I'm really excited about today, especially. Got some really pressing information. We're going to talk about the tax rate hike. That's information we talked about this yesterday. I'm going to reiterate it today because today's your last day, okay? And so you definitely want to know about that, okay? Let's pay some bills first, folks, and then we'll get on with the show, okay? Let's do that. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. You caught me, folks. I'm actually saying hello to to Chris this morning on Facebook. It's because sometimes, what I do is I get busy. I look over and I see somebody actually wrote something, and so I say hello to them. So, hi, Chris. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Um, and see, folks, it's just that easy. If you say hello, I say hello. We say hello, and if you've got a business and you want me to shout out, I'm more than happy to do that. Because that's really what it's all about. It's about talking all about Vegas. Let's talk about one more thing while we're here. Let's talk about Vegas Livin Expos. Signups are beginning right now, folks, for Vegas Livin Expos. We're going to be out at the Cannery Casino August 3rd, so I'm very excited about that. So if you'd like to sign up for Vegas Livin Expos, we'll leave a link. Excuse me. We'll leave a link to that on our Facebook page, and you can actually check that out and sign up for Vegas Livin Expos. Looking about 50 vendors going to be out there talking about home renovation, home stuff. Very excited about that. Also, let's really quick here, folks. I wanted to make sure that that I introduce myself because some people just don't know me. They just, and it's funny. Some people come on, they go, "Who the heck is this guy on TV or on Facebook?" I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. Also, we publish Livin Weekly, and we do the podcast, and we do events. We do all kinds of cool stuff like that. So this is the current version, current issue, of Livin in Vegas magazine. On the cover until tomorrow, Greg and Kristen Berta, owners of Junk Luggers, and so they've been such great sponsors for us on the magazine. And tomorrow it'll be changing because we've already got the new cover, all things. It's almost the entire magazine is almost complete. I'm going to do some touch-ups today, but pretty much the magazine's done, and we're excited about it. You still have time. I mean, if you want to advertise in the magazine, please let me know. I don't want to tell anybody you can't do it right now. It's going to be tough to get you in right now, but you still can. All you got to do is contact me, and you can actually get that in there. That's not good. Anyways, also we publish another magazine, and it's called Livin Weekly Magazine. And Livin Weekly Magazine this week, so we got a Livin Weekly Magazine and Livin in Vegas Magazine are both coming out in the same week. And this was last week's, or actually 2 weeks ago, we did this cover right because it was for Father's Day. And but I think, folks, you're going to really like the new edition of Livin Weekly. It's fun. It's really fun, and it's in keeping with what our the new swagger in Livin in Vegas. So we're talking about the return of cool, and can I put that up there? Yeah, I can put that up there right now. Let's see if we can put that up. There we go. And the return of cool. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Let's do this. There we go. So the return of cool to Vegas, and this I'll even cover up my face. The return of cool. So many of you know who this guy is, and we're going to be talking a lot more about Sammy Davis Jr., the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, these guys, because really, a lot of people move to Vegas for one reason. It's not for the weather, I can tell you right now. It's just not for the weather. It is actually the cool factor. It is. It is. As we go on, folks, you're going to know more and more and more about the coolness factor in Las Vegas. But that's the new thing, folks. It's the new Livin in Vegas. We're going to be talking about the return of cool to Las Vegas. So we're going to be talking about some stories about that in the coming weeks, and I hope you enjoy it. I really do. Matter of fact, we're planning some events that are in keeping with this. So get ready. I mean, really get ready. I'm so excited about this. It is for those of you who probably, and I'll do this right now. For those of you who may not know me, I was an entertainer and have been an entertainer since I was a little kid. I used to dance. Then when we got into high school, I was in a band. a couple of friends that invited me to be a part of the band, and then I was very fortunate that I got picked up by um, the Platters, and so the Platters, remember, yeah, the same ones. You're thinking the right ones. They picked me up in early '80s, so mid the early part of the 1980s is when I became a member of the Platters, and I traveled on the road with those guys for about 3 years. Had a great time. I had a terrible time. Had a great time. Had a terrible time. I had a great time, and we've played. I've played all over the world. Literally, I've played. There's not. I've never been to Africa. Yeah, I've never been to Africa. Played Vegas a lot of Vegas. So I've played at Caesar's Palace before, Sahara, Four Queens, especially downtown. Four Queens is really much our bread and butter here in Las Vegas. Like I said, Caesar's, Sands, and the Old Frontier, that kind of stuff. So we did a lot of Vegas. And one of the things that happened during the time that I was traveling on the road is I got to meet a lot of stars. I mean, a lot of people. And Frankie Valli, gosh, who else did I meet? I met so many people. Let me tell you, I'll tell you a real quick story and then we'll get on to some news here in Vegas. We were playing in Dallas, Texas, Fairmont Hotel, which is pretty swanky place. 5 star, beautiful place. We were up. We had our entire floor to ourselves, and we played one night in the ballroom that's down there. Great time, and people told me, they said, "Hey, Sherm, guess who's in the audience tonight?" And we always had stars that would be in the audience, especially places we played. We played Monte Carlo, and I'll tell you stories as we go along. I rarely ever tell anybody these stories, so this is a first, folks. I rarely ever tell any stories about my days as an entertainer on the road, but I think this this is one of those moments where you want to do it. So so we're on stage, and we've been playing at the Fairmont for a couple of weeks. We generally played gigs, every place where we played, generally 2 weeks. So we would be in, let's say, we'd be in Lake Tahoe for 2 weeks, or we'd be in Denver, or we'd be in New York, or wherever we'd be at. And this time we're in Dallas at the Fairmont, and they said, "Hey, guess who's in the audience?" I said, "Who?" They said, "Tom Landry and Roger Staubach." All right, so for those of you who are into sports, those names are synonymous with cool. Roger Staubach, Tom Landry. Tom Landry was the coach, really the only coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Had the hat. I think that's probably why I like fedoras to this day. Is because of Tom Landry. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm a Raiders fan now, but I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan since I was a little kid. So Tom Landry's in the audience. Roger Staubach, who's quarterback for the Cowboys at the time. No, he was not the quarterback at that time. So they said, "Hey, they want to meet you at the end of the gig." Meet me? Why would they want to meet me? Well, they wanted to meet everybody in the group, but I'm part of the group, so they wanted to meet me. So, show's over with. Go over to meet Tom Landry, Roger Staubach, and they said, "Hey, can we have your autograph?" Now, folks, I probably didn't tell you this. This is the cool part. I'm like a schoolgirl when I meet Tom Landry, the legendary Tom Landry, and the legendary Roger the Dodger Staubach, the man who has thrown for more passes, broken more bones, done all kinds of stuff, and the steely-eyed one, Tom Landry, want to meet me. Dear Lord, have mercy. So I get off stage as I normally do, because I'm cool. I've got my tuxedo on, I got my cummerbund, my bow tie, that kind of stuff. So in those days, that's all I wore, is bow ties and. So they say, hey, we'd like your autograph. Can we? They were like, well, this was so funny. So they've got their stuff of our stuff. They've got our magazines or whatever, or albums. They go, can we have your autograph, please? And I went, I can't believe this. Tom Landry, Roger Staubach want my autograph. And of course, I try to play it off. And I go, why, sure. Come over here, kid. Give you my. Oh, as a matter of fact, can I have your autograph too? Because I love you guys. You guys are the best. Why, sure. I got both their autographs. Tom Landry and Roger Staubach. I still have them today. I still have those autographs to this day. And they got mine. I'm sure it was a very unfair trade, folks. I was just a kid. I'm a kid. I'm in my early 20s, singing on the road with a world famous group. But I got Tom Landry, Roger Staubach's autograph. But in those days, folks, they knew we were from Vegas. They knew we were cool. And really, that's the reason why people are coming here to Vegas. It really is. So we're going to be talking about that even more. I know. Did you like that story? I hope you liked that story. It was fun. We had such a great time. We really did. And I was just very excited about that. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's going on in Vegas here, folks. This is really important that you get this. And then we're probably going to, we'll break. Now, shoot, we're over time already. Okay, so anyways, many of you have heard about the rate hike that is going to probably happen as a result of a legislative bill that was passed back in, it was in 89, I think, or 98, one of the two, I forgot. Well, so you probably got a little card in the mail, and it basically said, look, hey, guess what? If you sign this right now, let us know this is your main residence, that your tax rate for your residential home, not a rental home, a residential home, is capped at 3%. Okay? And if you did not sign it at that time, this is the ugly truth, your rate probably went up already. And it already is at probably 7.7%. Okay? But if you signed it and you gave it to them at that time, let's say you bought the house 2 years ago, a year ago, then your rate hike is your rate is still probably at 3%. So anyways, county assessor sent out a note saying, hey guys, guess what? Remember that card that we were supposed to have had you sign and everything else? Oh, that deadline's coming up for fiscal year 2022. And you need to get this in to us. So if you go to our website right now, folks, now people have already been down to the assessor's office at 7 o'clock this morning, double checking. They're going on the website to check to see if their property tax hike if they're at 7.7%, or if you don't sign this paperwork and get it into the county assessor's office by this today, it's going to go to 8%. Okay. Now you can always change it. Now that's not the point. You can change it, folks. I want to let everybody know. If you do not make the deadline today, okay, your tax will go up to 8%, but you can always change it again. Okay, and it'll go back down to 3% on a residential piece of property. But you need to get this paperwork in. Okay, so go to our website. Our homepage is right on the top, folks. As a matter of fact, I'm going to double check. And yes, it is the top story. It is right in the middle. We put put a link to the story. All you got to do is click on it, and you can actually go to the story because it says read more, and it'll give you a little blurb about the story. And it says Clark County Assessor addresses panic with property tax cap. You want to get on there, go to the website, and it will lead you actually to the assessor's site. You can actually download this form, folks. If you didn't get the card, okay, I'm going to let you know now. This is the form that you will get off of the assessor's site, okay? And all you've got to do is send it in. Okay, send it in to, you can email it in or you can mail it in, but it's got to go in today. Okay, that's the most important thing. It's got to go in today But it's really easy. You can do it in 2 minutes. All you've got to do is have your parcel number and send that in. Okay. Really important that you do that today. Okay. Um, what else is going on? Oh, so there's a story. Do we want to do that story? Let's do about the Aces. Okay, so the Aces. Many of you know the Las Vegas Aces have been on a tear. They're just a fantastic team. But unfortunately, we've hit a dry patch this last week or so, and it continued last night where we played against the Storm yesterday, and came up short by 10 points playing against Seattle. And not it was 88-78. Asia put in, I think she put 16, 17 points, and all we really needed was to not have as many mistakes as we had. We had a lot of mistakes, 20 turnovers. You just can't win a game that way. So had some breakdown. So we're 14-5 overall. We're 8-1 in the Commissioner's Cup rankings, and it's the first Commissioner's Cup loss that we've had. So I think we need to shake it off. Just shake it off. A lot of weird stuff has been going on with the girls, and we want to make sure that we continue to root them on. And the Aces were not the only ones that lost yesterday. As a matter of fact, the Aviators, who have been just dominating Round Rock up in at their stadium in Del Diamond, we got trounced yesterday. Good night. 10-1. Oh yeah, I mean they just were kicking butt. We got like 4 hits. Yeah, we got 4 hits. And Round Rock Express, they're coming here July 1st, so they'll be here for a 3-game homestand out at the ballpark, and we need to root them on because we were killing them. We beat Round Rock 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. I mean, just consistently, we've just been killing them. But last night they beat us at their home 10-1. Just killed us. What are you gonna do? Do I have time for? I got time for a couple more stories. So let's do this. Let's pay another bill. I'm gonna drink a little bit of OJ here, and maybe we'll come back and we'll tell you another story. We'll be right back. Hi everybody, it's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. And folks, Vegas Livin Expos is going in overdrive. August 3rd, we'll be out at the Cannery Casino, where we're going to have about 50 vendors for a expo explosion. So we're very excited about that. Stay tuned for more information on that. If you'd like more information about Vegas Livin Expos, just contact us at info@Livin in Vegas. That's info@Livin in Vegas. Become a vendor for Vegas Livin Expos. Yeah. Hey, now there was a story that I just saw, and kind of got me going here, just because we've been talking about this for a long time. We really have. And out at Red Rock Canyon, the Red Rock recreational area, there's been a push by the BLM, or the Bureau of Land Management, to start charging double, triple the rates to go out to the recreational area, especially if you're going to the Loop. Well, many of you know Calico Basin area, which is like basically the first turnoff. It's about 6 miles, up the hill. Not even that far, but it's a couple miles up the hill. Calico Basin. There's a climbing area that is frequented. It's probably one of the most popular climbing areas for recreational climbers and not not high level climbers, but guys who just like doing bouldering. And really what it is, there's a couple of areas where they just got these big boulders, and the boulders are like 20 feet high, something like that. But it's not huge. It's not like a mountain, but they're boulders. Well, at the end of a day, hard day in Vegas, there are clubs that go out there and they bring their mats out there. It's really kind of very interesting. Think about a mattress, size of a bed, on somebody's back, but it's about that wide. So it's really, oh, you can't see it. But it's really thick. So it's about 3 feet thick, 5 foot by 6 foot, something like that. And these guys are walking up into the mountain area. And what they do is they take these mats, they put them under these boulders, and then for a couple of hours, these guys climb these, they free climb these boulders, upside down. And they're climbing the boulders. And if they fall on the mats. Okay, so it's a really a stress reliever, and I've seen so many people out there. I've taken pictures of them out there, and it's just very cool to watch these guys do it. Well, the BLM is thinking about charging people to go to that Calico Basin mountain climbing area, and they're getting pushback. I mean, they really are getting pushback from these hiking groups, and especially these boulders, these mountain climbers who are saying, "Look, guys, you're just making it virtually impossible to have fun in Vegas for one, but number two, you're the consequence of you doing this is that people who would normally go to this one spot to boulder, to mountain climb, to hike, do all this stuff, are now, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go someplace else and they're going to trash those places." And you know what? They're probably right. So you have an opportunity, folks, to actually weigh in on this. We'll actually put this story on our website at livinvegas.com. That's livinvegas.com on our home site, where they still are looking for public comment on this before they make a final determination. And really, folks, this is something that you, just like everything else we talk about, that you have an opportunity to have your voice heard. When I was a kid, everything in Vegas was free. Going out to Lake Mead, going to the Loop, doing all this, and now everything costs you an arm and a leg to do things that were once free. And it's making it tough to have a good time for nothing in Vegas. What it's going to do, and in this case, once again, and I just cannot stress this more, is by them charging people at this particular area and then doubling and tripling the price of going to the Loop in Red Rock, is they're going to force people off of those controlled areas where people have been for decades, literally decades. In Calico Basin, they've probably been going out there since early 1900s. They're going to force people into the desert area where you don't want them at. Okay, you don't want people just climbing around all over the place. Okay, what they've created out at Calico Basin is they've created a really neat little area. People park up there, get out of their cars, they climb, they get back down, they leave. Trash areas there, there's trash cans. It's very nice. Okay, if it is a matter of you wanting people to clean up, then ask the public to do it. Okay, ask the public, hey guys, would you become a volunteer to clean up the areas that we get paid to do? Okay, that's what you get paid to do. You probably should just do it. Okay, or is it just getting too tough? Well, anyways, I was going to get snippy. So I could do that. I could be very snippy. We will leave this on our homepage, folks, where you can actually check it out. And we really hope that you do check it out and say, hey, look, we do not want them to raise the price of anything out in our recreational areas, especially during a time when everybody's hard hit. This is just it's not cool. And I think there's a workaround for everything. Okay. Anyways, once again, the article we were talking about the property rate hike, go to our website, our homepage. It's right on. It's the second article actually on our homepage at livininvegas.com, and you can actually check that out. Follow the link, get to the assessor's site. Once again, there's a one-page form that you can actually go to, they can download, fill it out, email it back to her. Now we've heard that people say that they're having problems with their emails bouncing back. Don't worry about it. Just keep trying. Okay, just keep trying. But today is the deadline. You want to get that done today. Okay. All right. Anyways, folks, we're done. Tomorrow the magazine's out. So Livin in Vegas magazine is out. The new edition, the July edition. If you would like to be in it, okay, this is our last call. If you would like to be in the July edition of Livin in Vegas magazine, you'd like to be an advertiser, you'd like to help us out in that, send me your stuff. Okay, I'm going to put it up there right now, folks, so you can actually get this. It's info@livininvegas.com. Okay, it's info@livininvegas.com. Oh, put it up there. Info. I can't even see that. Info@livininvegas.com. It's info@livininvegas.com, and we will get you in. Okay, it's going to be a rush, but we'll get you in. Okay. Once again, if you'd like to be in the July edition of Livin in Vegas magazine, you still have a chance to do that. All you've got to do, send me your information at info@livininvegas.com. If not, folks, this has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. Folks, when you think of Livin in Vegas, think Livin Local and the return of cool. This has been Sherman Ray. We'll see you again tomorrow.